747, turn right, heading 185, reduce speed 180 knots.
185 on the heading, 180 on the Takeoff Air 007.
Speedbird 124, reduce speed 160 knots to 40 me.
Reduce 160 to 4, speed 124.
Hello there guys, Matt here. Long time no speak. Welcome back to another P3D video. It has been, oh god, I don't even know how long. Probably 2 months since I last posted. And probably, I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 months since I actually posted a flight sim video. The last set of videos being some real life flying that I decided to start undertaking, which I will talk about in just a sec. But I felt, I don't know, like videos for me are just kind of a therapeutic way of relaxing. I used to want to do them all the time and, you know, kind of make a go of it, but then I realized quite quickly that flight sim is a very small market, and thus trying to make it into something that is sustainable from, especially just from purely videos, is probably not that possible. So it's definitely more of a hobby than anything else these days. So speaking of hobbies, P3D being my primary, probably X-Plane to be the secondary sim I use, both of them have had some pretty substantial updates since I last posted a video. And so I figured that we would get back into the swing of things with a long haul video, which is something that I used to do quite often because it was really suited to my kind of lifestyle, i.e. I would kick off a long haul in the morning and then I would go out or do whatever I was doing all day, and then I would come back, I would land, and that kind of works perfect, which is exactly what I'm doing today. It's currently 8:30 in the morning in my house, or in the world where I am at the moment in the UK, and I'm gonna set off a long haul and then come back later on this afternoon and land it. So reason for this flight, well, first of all, where are we going? You'll already know if you've read the title, which I assume you have. We're off to Chicago, and the reason being is I actually purposely haven't flown into Chicago on the sim in P3D anyway, for probably about 5-6 years now. The airport went through some pretty major changes, and the only scenery that was available for it was from FS Dream Team, but it's so old, a lot of it was missing, and it was kind of old technology, didn't look very nice, and I just kind of thought, nah, there's way better places to visit and spend my life traveling there. So I decided that I would wait until an updated scenery came out, and lo and behold, 2 at once. First of all, the DD Chicago, I don't know how you pronounce the name, it's like Jetways design or some crap like that, I don't really know how you say it, but they came out of Chicago. They did the city thing first, like they do everywhere, and then they did the airport second. And then just a couple of weeks after that, FS Dream Team brought out Chicago version 2, which is pretty cool. So I decided to kind of mix and match. I've got the city from DD and I've got the airport from FS Dream Team, and they look very nice, very nice. The DD Chicago airport itself is not bad, but I don't know, I think FS Dream Team kind of does the scenery, the actual airport scenery anyway, a little bit better. It's your own preference, it is whatever. So this is Speedbird 295, or BA295, Heathrow to Chicago. The real one takes off a little bit later in the morning, but I don't have time to wait around, so I'm just going to pretend we decided to do something massively unrealistic and depart, I don't know, probably 2-3 hours ahead of schedule. But it works for me. In front of us, you will see a British Airways 747, and you'll notice that it doesn't look like any old regular British Airways 747. BA this year, celebrating 100 years in service, have decided to paint some weird and wonderful liveries onto some of their planes. First of all, I think back in whenever it was, a 747 got painted in the I think it was a Landor one first, then BOAC, and then a 319 got something or other, and then this is the Negus. I think that's how you pronounce it, Negus. I feel that that's right. Scheme that they've had now since I think it's since January, March, April time. And this has been painted by the legendary Mr. John Tavendale, who has done all of them. And this one, although it's old, and well, it's old in terms of how BA's branding is nowadays, I think sometimes a kind of blast from the past, kind of remember where you come from, is always good for the morale, if you will. In terms of the plane, we are in the PMDG 747 version 3, which I am pretty sure I've flown before on this channel. I think I have. I don't think that's new. I was actually going to take the 787 because Quality Wings just updated it about 3 or 4 days ago, but then I had a change of heart. So we'll save the 787 for another day. I don't know why the back door's open. Weird. Aerosoft Heathrow for the airport scenery, Orbx for the surrounding stuff, Ultimate Traffic Live for the AI, and GSX for the ground services, SODE for the gate or the jetway. There's an ambulance, how ironic. What else? We've got ActiveSky powering the clouds, PTA powering shaders, and some sky textures which I made myself, which are not currently available because I'm still fine-tuning them. Once they are done and ready to go, I will let you know. And I think that covers most things in terms of what I'm using. I did mention the scenery, yeah, UK 2000, Aerosoft Heathrow, that'll confuse some people. So yeah, I think that's that. GSX level 2 expansion meme for the ground services. They just updated it about, I don't know, probably about 3 weeks ago now, to include this customized pushback thing that you can do, which is kind of similar to how Better Pushback does it in X-Plane, although it's definitely not as good, and it has frustrated me more times than I care to admit. So if it does that today, then, well, this video might not actually be a thing. Alright, so we're going to head over to the other computer, and we will fire up PFPX, fire up all the other stuff that we need, and then we will get things underway. Okie dokie, so we are on the streaming PC, which is basically the PC. I have 2 PCs, and everything is networked across from the, I call it the gaming PC to the streaming PC. So I run everything on a network separately so it doesn't interfere with the sim in terms of performance. PFPX, as always, until the projectFLY dispatcher eventually comes out, which seems to be something that is just spicing me every day of my life, but there we go. So, new aircraft, and we will add GCIVB, which is the reg of the Negus plane, 747-400, and it's just a straight 400 with Rolls-Royce RB211s, kilos, meters, feet is fine. That's all good. Packs capacity, I'm pretty sure BA don't use the full amount that it can come with, but I don't have a specific profile for that, so we'll just ignore it. Equipment configuration, well, it's a heavy, and all of that stuff's already in. We'll change the FAA equipment code to L. I don't know why it always proxies to X. That is not true. I could fill out all of this if I really cared, but I don't. ETOPS is not required, so we can just bing that off. And we'll save that like so. And we'll go to flight, and we will enter BA295 and Heathrow to Chicago. Supposedly departing off 27 right, landing 22 right. That's all subject to change. Doesn't really matter. Randomize the payload. 386 passengers. I feel that they probably wouldn't do that many. I think the config is something like 233 or something. Weird. So we'll just hit randomize a few times, get it to something more reasonable like that. 205 ton, 0 fuel weight. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't know if it's like a high density route, this or not, but it doesn't really matter. Alternate for Chicago. There was a document somewhere that listed all of the en route alternates or the destination alternates for BA, but I've lost it. So if we zoom in, Chicago is here. Well, I don't know of any airports that they go nearby other than probably Toronto. So I'll just stick Toronto in as the alternate, and we'll find that. It's 400 miles away, but I mean it's on the way, so yeah. Find route. I'll calculate everything for us, so let's just double check it's fine. Let's have a look. So out through Compton, and then over the mid of Ireland, centre of Ireland, out towards the sea, Atlantic Ocean, over the top of Montreal, and over the top of for central Toronto in terms of the FIR, and then just clipping Minneapolis before we turn left and fly over that massive lake. I've forgotten the name of it. This one, is it Lake Michigan? No, probably not. Geography's terrible. I actually went to Chicago, believe it or not. Actually, I've been there a few times. I went to see Hamilton, the Broadway. Or is it Broadway? Chicago Broadway? The theatre. CIBC theatre. Something or other. Very good. Alright, so advanced. We don't need any of this, so we'll just leave that and we'll compute the flight. And we'll release a flight and we'll print the flight plan. So we can get rid of all that. Kickstart that off. I'll also... let me just save this very quickly. And whilst that's doing its thing, I can export it. And that really is about as fancy as it gets in terms of flight planning. I'm sure there's 1,000,001 other ways you can do it, but I'm not interested. I'll send the uplink, the wind uplink. I'll send the route file. And then I'll save that, and we're good. The only other thing I care about is the route, which is here. I want that. And that will do us for projectFLY. It's quite busy today, actually. A lot of people flying across the pond. So, bookings, create a new booking, Heathrow, Chicago, and those to look for 295, which is here somewhere. Any of these will do. Oh, it goes out at 11:55, so it's actually very, very early. BA295, BA295, scheduled IFR and CIVB. There it is. Vatsim. I mean, I'll select Vatsim, but I'm actually not going to go on Vatsim. Maybe for the arrival. We will paste the route like so. That is formatted so weirdly. Let me just paste that there, copy, paste, and then do that. There we go. And I've completely screwed it. Okay. Damn. Why do I do this to myself? If we send it to Vatsim, it'll open up a browser, and then I can copy it from Vatsim instead. There we go. Control C. And then Control V. Dispatch. And fly now. And then we will see ourselves appear somewhere on the ground at Heathrow. Eventually, I want to be able to pipe the Vatsim, or sorry, the projectFLY network traffic into your sim, and then we would be able to see all these people. But right now, that's not happening. We should appear around here somewhere, maybe here. Once the data refreshes. There we go. And that's us ready to go. A quick look at the flight plan. So we are zero fuel weight of 205.4, which is here. Going to take 90 tons of fuel, or just under, but we will round it up to 90. It's going to take 8 hours, cruising at 34k, and going up, or actually going down to 32k. It must be a wind thing. Up to 36, 38, and then finally flight over 400. 7 hours 50 minutes. That's about it in terms of what we need to know. Supposedly departing from 27 right, surface wind at the moment 250 at 10, all the 9s. It's supposed to be raining a little bit. 11 degrees, 1 below 4. When we get to Chicago, it's going to be reasonable. That's right. alternate is okay as well. So have a look at the charts really quick. So we're parked on 545, which is on terminal 5B on the other, or terminal 5C. Well, actually it's on this side of B, but you push onto Charlie. So 545, 27 right, so north on Charlie, then right Alpha, and then all the way to the end, 27 right. Grab a hold of the departure chart. So 27 right, Compton 3 Foxtrot departure. Straight ahead, intercept London 256 to DME 7. And right heading 269 towards Woodley. And then just make sure that you cross 11 miles from London at above 3,000 feet. Stop altitude, aka don't go any higher, 6,000 feet. And that is all we need to know. 6,000 is the transition altitude. The rest is Gucci. We have quite a long time to make that climb, but we're not heavy, so it's all good. Last thing before we load the sim, flight plan in ActiveSky would be a good thing. We'll load that in, just make sure we get some accurate winds. And now we've done that, book to aircraft, there we go. That's all sorted. So back to flight sim we go. So let's kickstart this. First things first, just knock these yokes down so I can see what I'm doing. We'll come up to the top and we will fire the IRSs to align. Let's get that on the go for now. We'll go to FMC and pos in it. Set Heathrow, stand 545. That should accept that, which it does. GPS position. Go to route. And then we use the data link to get everything set. So we will go EGLL KORD and Speedbird 295. And if I bring this one up too, because why not? We should. Like I fly so many different aircraft. Trying to remember which is not easy. So I think we fill this out and this out. Not KORD. Estimated departure time in UTC is going to be 800. Airline ID is BA. ETE is, we had a look on the flight plan, was 7 hours and 50 minutes. Now we can connect that data link, let it figure itself out. And once it's done that, we'll be able to actually request it. These buttons will change. He says. There we go, perfect. Right, so now we can press request. That'll fire that off, and it eventually will come back. In the meantime, we can go to payload, and we can set the zero fuel weight, which is 205.4. And we can set the fuel, which is 90 tons. It would be really nice if there was a proper GSX integration with this, but there isn't, so never mind. That's all good. We can now load that in. And once that's done, you'll see it populate. And the message will disappear. There we go. So we'll just fill it back out. 27 right, 295, activate. Execute that. I'll just copy that for now, just in case something happens. Depart arrive, 27 right, Compton 3 Foxtrot. In it goes, and we'll go init ref, and we will stick the zero fuel weight in. The reserves are 4 plus 8, so it's 12. Cost index 90, flight level 340 initially. This can all stay as is. Go to the legs page, So we'll put all the step stuff in. 320 MEDOG or MEDOG. So we're going to go down to go back up. I don't actually know why that's a thing. I'm sure someone will chip in and say, but I'm pretty sure it's to do with the winds or something. It has to be. Dogal 360. And then 20 west 380. It's quite a quick step climb. It's probably because we went low early on. Then flight level 400 at Moffat. Like so. Execute that. Route data. Wind data load. Perfect. We'll squawk 2000.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Oh, and my Siri thing just went off. That was fun. VNAV. Let's stick the transition altitude in 6,000 feet. We'll do 250 below 10. Not that there's anyone going to care, but it's just be nice. And the forecast, well, we could load that in. We're just going to purge it eventually. It's completely pointless doing it all the way at this point, but whatever. Alright, so that's that. We can look at the progress, just see what it's going to... We're going to land with 21.7 tons. So, that's wrong. Supposedly, we are going to... Well, I took off... I loaded 3 tons more. Actually, that makes sense. Yeah, that's just a lot of fuel. Okay, so... Perf... thrust limb. So we can do TO1, 60 degrees. Takeoff flaps 20 and 1,000 and 1,000 again and 1,000 again. The trim, it will do itself, so 23. And what was the surface wind? So it's an 8 knot headwind. Nope. That one. Doesn't model slope, so who cares about that? And then we'll just whack the speeds in. Alright. Put that to FMS legs page. That can go there, that can go there. So 157 is what we're looking for in the MCP. 270 or 271 if you want to be pedantic. Let's leave it 270 and 6,000 feet left, right, LNAV, VNAV. Do whatever you want with the ND. Have it however you fancy. I'm going to do data and train on that side, and on this side I'm going to do data only because I'm going to do the weather radar eventually. Clear all these ECAM messages. And menu, FS actions, doors, 1004, everything looks fine to me. And I will turn on the fuel pumps, turn the window heat on. You know what, actually we'll just fire on the APU as well. Might as well. Fueling is done because there's no GSX integration, so might as well turn the belts on, lock the flight deck door. We will close everything. We'll get GSX to push us back, which is going to take us, we want to go nose right, which it will eventually come up and say we probably can't do. I don't know why the message hasn't come up yet. Now the APU starting. Well, this is awkward. It's not doing anything with the pushback. Oh, maybe it's Maybe it's just waiting for the vehicles to sod off, and then it'll ask me what I want to do. Oh, door in the way. APU is running. Sweet. Yeah, there you go. Nose right. No. And we can return ground connections. We'll just bin off the chocks and it'll do everything for us. There we go. Let's wait for the little cart thing to remove the ground power unit.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Hello there. Alright. Beacon light to both. We will put the... Oh, try that again. I didn't want to click that.
Locking gear.
That one. Oh, come on. Click spots. There you go. Packs on. Just for now until we turn them off again in like 10 seconds. The hydraulics, auto.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
And I'm actually going to turn the storm light off now. I'm done with it. Everything else is fine. Happy with that. All the doors are good. Release the parking brake. Start the clock. And back we go. Okay. So, packs going off. And we will fire up engine numero 4. And that will take a little bit. Start number 3 as well. GSX is having some sort of aneurysm. Oh god. Oh god. I thought that was about to end really badly. Parking brake set. Good start on 4. About to be a good start on 3, and we'll do 1 and 2 together.
Unlocking gear.
Right now.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is
Good stuff. So that's 4's up, 3's up, 2 will be up soon, and so will 1. Perfect. Alright. Demand pumps back to auto, packs back on. Flaps 20. Turn on the weather radar. Turn off lights daytime, so they don't really care about the taxi lights. Control check. So 4 left. Oh, you can't even see that because the yoke's hidden, but 4 left. 4 right. All the way back. And all the way forwards. Rudder full left. And rudder full right. And we are looking for 5.9 trim, which is basically where it's at now. And let's have a quick glance at the engine page once more. Everything is good. I am happy, and the APU can go off. Ground equipment is clear. Everything is good. Parking brake released. Let's go. Alright, so while we're taxiing out, because I got a bit of time, I just want to chat very briefly about a couple of things. Number one being where the hell have my real life flying videos gone, or been. It's quite a sad story, really. I am done with the PPL syllabus now, so that's all nice and cushy, and I'm pretty happy with myself. But about 2 months ago, when I record my flying, I come home and I put the footage on my M2 drive because it's the fastest thing that I own, and when you've got a lot of 4K footage, that thing fills up very fast. Unfortunately, one day the hard drive just stopped working, it corrupted itself, and all of my footage is stuck on that hard drive. So until I get a way of recovering it, and I have tried to do it at home using like an M2 Caddy and stuff like that, the flying footage is essentially in the abyss. I am a little bit pissed, to say the least. So that's where it is. It's not that I'm being lazy or anything like that. It's just that it's stuck and I don't know how to get it off. That being said, if any of you have experienced anything similar with M2 drives and know of how to get the data off, just casually ignore that truck driving through us, then if you'd let me know, that would be fantastic. I really could do with getting that footage back, because there is there's a lot. There's over probably about 30-40 hours worth of flying footage just sat on a drive. Not fun. That being said, I have some plans, probably not whilst the winter in the UK is upon us, because it really isn't much use flying in this sort of weather. But now the PPL is out the way, I really want to start making some videos of not me training. That would be pretty cool. So I want to maybe do some like European flights in like a Cessna or something, and go do some pretty cool flying videos that way. I have noticed that there are some of you that now and again will message or will leave comments saying, hey, I live in this country, or I live in this country, and I also have a license. Do you want to meet up and like go flying? So the answer to that is, of course. If you have a license and you have access to a plane and you want to do some like formation stuff, providing, you know, everything checks out and it's safe to do so, I am completely up for that. That's definitely something I've never done before, and it's, you know, I'm all for new experiences. So the easiest way to contact me is just leave a message and I'll get back to you. Or if you have Discord, I use my Discord like religiously all day, every day. So discord.gg/my name, so Matt Davis. We'll get you there. I'll leave the link to that in the notes thing below under the video. So yeah, that's really what's going on. Hard drive died. Footage is basically locked in it's not even the cloud, is it really? But there you go. And flying stuff. If you would like to go flying and you have a license, then we could do that. I'm also thinking about doing some giveaways as well. I've started doing giveaways on my Twitch channel, and I feel that should really cross over to here because, well, I mean, it's just the same, isn't it? There's no real difference. I'm pretty sure once upon a time I promised as well that I would run like giveaways for taking people flying. I'm still trying to work out the logistics of that. I have no problem taking people flying. Obviously I can't charge for it, and I would never do that anyway. That's not the whole point of this, but I know for a fact that the moment I start offering stuff like that out, people are going to be, you know, they're going to be watching that very, very carefully just to see what I'm doing and how I'm going about it. So I just need to make sure that that's all, the sort of I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. But yeah, I definitely would love to take people flying. More towards people that have like accessibility problems, if that makes sense. So when I was when I was super heavy, like 250 kilos, the only thing I ever wanted to do was fly. Now obviously there are limits to the size of people I can take, but if I can get away with it, I will. Especially I know there's a lot of people that are disabled that would love to go flying but just really either can't afford it because the disability stops them from working, or they just don't have the confidence or whatever. I would really like to get in touch with those people and sort of invite them out for a flight or two. But it's an open invitation to anyone really. Once I have the finer details sorted, I will get back to everybody and I'll let you know how we can sort of proceed from that point forward. So we are approaching Alpha 3. We will don the lights. Everything can go on. We are takeoff weight of about 298 tons, give or take. If you're over 300 tons, apparently you turn the packs off. I am not over 300 tons. Pretty sure I've said that before in my life before. So we do not need to do that. So we'll keep the packs on and we will head to Chicago. So everything is good. Just going to assume the cabin's ready. There is runway 27 right. Nice cloudy day. Okay, start the timer. Bring the power in gradually to about 55%. That's stable. There she goes. 1.52 EPA. Power set, 80 knots. There's V1. And and rotate. Very nice. Positive rate. Gear up. Trim to absolute perfection. It's not often I get that right. Lower the nose a tad. Beautiful. There's climb thrust. See some of the cars going around the M25. Alright, flaps 10, we start to accelerate. Bring the nose down a little bit further. And that's flaps 5. Flaps 1. Put the autopilot in. And flaps up. At this point, they'll put the packs back on if they were off, but they're not. Nothing in the way, so we'll set flexible 340. And we will hit climb direct, execute that. And you'll see now we're clean. This thing is going to climb like a homesick angel because we are very light. Right, we'll put the gear to off, get rid of the landing lights and the turn off lights. Packs are on, we'll check that. Zoom out a little bit, resync the heading. Out the window. The engines look still, looks like the fans aren't turning. You see the spinner at the front, but the actual fan blades look dead. The age-old saying of what goes up must come down, and 7 hours and 8 minutes later, we are about 55 miles from the last waypoint in our flight plan before we start the the standard terminal arrival. It has been the most uneventful 7 hours in flight sim history. Literally nothing has happened. It's been clear skies, no turbulence, we've step climbed, we're currently at 40,000 feet. It's been what I guess they would class in the industry as an idealistic flight, maybe? Not quite sure. Anyway, we need to program some stuff. So, let us switch over to the other computer. Alright, so first things first, let's grab some weather. So if we go to conditions and then KORD, we'll see the current wind 1507, 10 statute miles, fuel at flight level 250, it's 14 degrees, 3018, which we'll preset in a minute, and the rest of it is fine. The last waypoint for us is a place called Odaxi, and then from there we are flying the Windy 9 arrival. Ironically, Windy City, Windy 9, you get the kind of comparison there. A lot of the stars in America, they tend to be named after certain things. So that's, if you're at all intrigued, that's mostly where they come from. All right, so let's have a look at the ground layout, and we will see just what we've got in terms of runways. So the wind is coming from the southeast, so we really want to land on either 9 left, which seems a little bit out of the way, 9 right, which I suppose is fine, 10 left, which I suppose is fine, and 10 center, which I also suppose is fine. Now, the moment, there's 10 right too, but I reckon they'd only use that if you were going to the cargo. I went to Chicago in real last year, and we landed on 10 center. So I think I'm going to go for that. So we will just double check the windy arrival. We can land on 10 center, which we can. You can see in the bottom right here. And so it's the windy 9, and then it will be the, I guess the BAMB transition. The thing that goes to the north of the airfield. Although maybe if you're landing on 10 center, they'll take you south side. That's a possibility as well, I suppose. We'll see. The approach for 10 center is here. Doesn't actually give you any clues as to whether you would come from the north or the south. Skip through the waypoints. Nope. Minimum is ILS 869 feet barrow. That's all we care about. And that'll do. Okay, so FMS, depart arrive, ILS 10 center, Gibbons, Windy 9 from Odaxi into that. We can set this to inches, and we can also set 3018 as a preset. 301, that's 201918. There we go. And we can throw in, we can actually re-request the descent winds, just to then purge everything, because it probably will change considering we did this 7.5 hours ago. Well, let's take a look. 301 at 29, 302 at 24, 296 16, 219 11. Let's see if they change. If they don't, then clearly there's something wrong with my wind data. Alright, let's purge everything. Yeah, just a little bit of a change. That works for me. Okay, VNav again, we'll just check on the descent page. So we want 250 below 10k. And the speed is fine. Actually, I'm going to do 290 on transition. Or we'll do 0.84 and then 290. I think you can do that. That's the one. So we'll continue at this speed, and then on the way down it will remain relatively fast. If you don't do stuff like that, then what will happen is you'll start your descent and you'll see before you even know it that you will start to slow right down just out of the blue. I don't know why that's doing that. 290 should be on 299.2, which it is, but it's because an alt disagree. Let's put that back to standard. And then just preset that. I've got to do this twice now. 3018. Okay, that minima we talked about, which was 869. So we'll just make sure we're on Barrow, which we are, and then we'll just whiz the circle all around. Just let that go up. There's 880. And there's 860 and 869. Good stuff. Landing weight for us will be, let's do a bit of math here. 221 minus 3, so it's going to be, 221 plus 3, so it's going to be 224, give or take. So we'll just hard code that in, and then we will use flap 25. We can also use this opportunity to set the auto brake to 3, and that will come with idle reverse, and we'll be good. Alright, so that is everything programmed in terms of the arrival. The level restriction on the windy is flight level 200 at river, so we just got to make sure that's in there, which it's not. In fact, there are no level restrictions in this at all. So let's fix those. So actually the first one is 320 at Obster. So we'll throw that in, which means we'll probably start descending quite soon. You'll probably see the TD marker appear along this bit of leg. We can actually just see it there just before Galt. So 320 at Obster, and then 200 at river. So we'll do that, and then that is everything. They're the only hard-coded ones. If we look at BAMB, it's suggested to be at 4,000. I was reading something actually about the arrival. I think it's a timing thing. Oh no, it's not. It's not. So if we go for let's see. We go for 4,000 feet at BAMB. That'll give you. Try 040. Nope, doesn't like that. Maybe it's because of the vectors. We just close that gap. Nope, doesn't like it. It wants to stay really high at BAMB. Let's see if we can put 6,000 in at Ernie. See if it'll let us do that. If it doesn't, then we'll just let it be, and we'll maybe do some intervening as we get a bit lower. The problem is the only hard-coded altitude is the 200 at river, and then after that it's just it says radar vectors to final approach course after Pappy. If we're landing on the west, but we're landing on the east, so you fly all the way to BAMB and then leave BAMB on the present heading, and then you get vectored from there. So there we go. Look at the plan mode. Just double check everything's fine. You can step through it all. There you go. we can actually cut the majority of this out. We don't need to go all the way to the end. And I won't be doing that because I'll be here all day. So what we'll probably do is when we get a bit closer is we'll start, once we get on this leg here, we'll start using a bit of speed intervene, get the speed brakes out, start there, hammering it down a little bit, and then we'll take it from there. So that gives us 62 miles to the top of descent, landing with 16 tons of fuel. It's actually spot on. It's exactly what we wanted. The PFPX plan gave us an arrival fuel of 16,031. That's incredible. So that is basically on the money. Anyway, I'll stop rambling now. Alright, so we are on the left-hand downwind, runway 10 center. Traffic just ahead of us, just establishing on the ILS. But what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to go from BAMB, direct PEPOW, and as long as there's a speed restriction, it should tidy that turn up very nicely. I'll put out with a lever of shame. I always knew that that was going to happen. Yeah, we should actually see the aircraft on the ILS kind of go off the left-hand wing. That'd be pretty cool to see. Start that left turn very, very soon. There we go. Keep a good eye out for that traffic. Oh, wait, what? Maybe he's not landing in Chicago. Apparently they're above us. Somewhere. 1,000 feet above us. 1,100 feet above us. And I can't see them anywhere. How strange. Huh. That's pretty weird. I was saying they're off to the left hand side and higher. Very weird. Okay. I'm going to stick flap 1 out. That'll help us on the drag front. And we're also going to stick flap 5 out. See Chicago just off in the distance there. Got 17 miles to run. We are a little bit high, but we have a lot of speed that we can gain if we need to. Okay, well that's a cracking shot, that right there. Could actually even put more flaps down if I need it. We could throw the gear down. I could do. There's an abundance of things I can do, but for now I'm just going to hit the localizer, and then the glide will eventually come alive. If you look at the limitation speed for flap 10, it's 240 knots. So you can actually put flap 10 down now, and actually we could put flap 20 down too, which is what I'm going to do. All the flaps out. Let's get a hell of a lot of drag going on. Beautiful. 13 miles to go. Quite a nose down attitude. It's probably not the most comfortable in real life to have this happen, but needs must. Landing lights, turn off lights, everything else on. Make sure the passengers are seated. And then flap 25 is 205, so we could go full configuration, but the problem is that we'll start getting configuration warnings because the gear is still not out, or down, if you will. Oh, and here comes all the AI traffic. What we're going to do now is we're going to let it dip under the ILS, under the glide. And now it's done that, we're going to go VS, 3,000 feet, drop this speed down now, 150. Hit the approach button. 9 miles to go, we'll go gear down. Bring the speed brake in. And arm it. And very soon that VS will bring us onto the ILS. I'm going to change the altitude to 2,000 feet. Missed approach altitude here is 4,000 feet, so we'll have to reset that once we've gotten the glide. And we're looking now for 141 or 140. So 145, flat 25. There's the glide. Configured before minimums. Quite a lot of planes on the TCAS doing their own thing. I can see one just off the right hand side of the aircraft there. So now I'm going to toggle in UT Live, clear the approach, like so. And that just means that we will not get interfered by any aircraft. Looks amazing, super happy with that. Damn, that looks good. Get a screenshot of that. Especially with the city skyline of Chicago in the back. That is very nice. I want to kind of get that from the tail. Let's go to the back view. That's not the back view, that one. And I just kind of go over this way. I know I'm leaving this way too late. But I think, actually, it's going to look beautiful. he says, with no textures loading in. There we go. Ha! That's awesome. Screenshot that for days. Alright, let's do some flying. Land 3 green. Let's take out the autopilot. There she goes. My aircraft. And there's the wing view. There's an aircraft on our right hand side landing on the parallel runway. That won't affect us. And we are parking into Terminal 5 at Chicago. Aircraft departing on 10 left. You can just see a couple of them there on the full length lining up. Looking beautiful. And there's the aircraft on the right of us doing the parallel approach. Wind is from the right. I see it just crabbing a little bit high now, but that's okay. Continue.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Beautiful. Reverses. I love stuff like this. Alright, decel, 70 knots. 60 knots, reverses green. There goes the American. Speed brakes off, manual braking. Oh man, that looks so good. Ladies and gents, welcome to Chicago. Spoilers in. And turn off the strobes for now. I'll have to put them back on eventually. So, we gotta get to Terminal 5, which is actually not too far away. So we'll just pull up here and just make sure no one is gonna cross the runway. Oh damn, this was a bad... Actually, you know what? I'm not doing that. That's a bad meme. Let's go the other way. That's what happens when you don't check the crossing points properly. We'd have had to go onto the runway and then backtrack, which when it's that busy, that's not a good idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue down to let's see, where are we going to go? So we're currently on taxiway Papa, and then we're going to go across at Golf, and then to the apron. And our stand will be Mike 12. So let's get... Oh, GSX is not working today. This happened before. When I was flying before, GSX just unloaded itself for no reason. It's so frustrating. And I don't think there's a way you can manually start it. It's like bound into the... Like some sort of DLL is like wrapped into the sim. There's Echo. Well, there's Golf. Wait, what the hell? This scenery's a bit messed up. I just noticed that. Got stuff floating all over the place. That'll be because the add-on managers died. Right, strobe light back on. Is someone taking off? Yeah, the 787. So we'll just wait here. So many planes doing different things. It's crazy. There he goes. Oh, we're looking at that. Yep. Okay. Now there should be a terminal here, but clearly there's not. And I do not know why. Mike 1-2 should be straight ahead. And I do not know why. Like, it's so frustrating. Why is that happening? I wonder if I can, like, recycle it with the add-on manager. Okay, so after some tinkering around, I realized the reason why it had died. And now it's back. So if I go here, and then I go to Terminal 5, Mike, and we'll go with Mike 12, which is just there to the right of us. There's no more runways to cross, so strobe light can go off. I'm actually going to turn the landing lights off too, and the turn-offs. The APU is available. Turn the weather radar off. And then a nice slow taxi. All the international airlines here. Air India, Etihad. I think that's Asiana over there. And then there's JAL, Japan. And here is our stand, Mike 12. And hopefully, if I've done it right, we should be right in the middle here. Pretty much. Nah, maybe a little bit off. There's markings on the floor for the 747. That one there. And boom. That'll do. Doesn't quite match up with the gate or with the safe dock, but whatever. Right, APU on, engines shut down. GSX to deboard us. We'll go to 2 left, confirm selection. Turn off all these, turn off all the fuel pumps. Pack's gonna stay on because, well, actually no, they don't need to. It's warm. It's not warm in Chicago at the moment. And there it is. Jetways coming up. We can disarm all the doors. You can open all the cargo stuff. And eventually we can open 2 left. And are they putting stairs at the back? Nah, they're not. What a good looking plane. And of course, complete the flight on projectFLY. Landing rate was 114 feet a minute. Good stuff. We burned exactly 90 tons of... Oh no, we burned 73 tons of fuel. Which is pretty reasonable for that length of flight. And there we have it. So, I hope you've enjoyed the day out into Chicago. And the Queen of the Skies. Always a pleasure. I don't know when I'm going to be posting again. I hope I get a chance to post a little bit more frequently. And I really hope I manage to recover all of the data from my nuked M2 drive. Then I can actually start posting the flight videos. But if not, then if you ever want to reach out to me for anything, Discord is always the best place. It's where I spend 90% of my life. Links below, but it's discord.gg/Matt Davis. Works. Discord's like basically Skype but on steroids, or TeamSpeak but on steroids. So you can voice chat, you can text chat, you can mix with others, you can link all your accounts. So if you're a subscriber on YouTube or a subscriber on Twitch or what have you, then you can link it all through and people can see like who's the supporters, etc, etc. Yeah, that's where I'll be, but I really hope I managed to bring a little bit of frequency back to videos. I say that every time, but honestly, like, I don't know, I guess when I was fat I didn't really have anything to do, so I just sat here all day making videos. But now I'm not. I have like a weirdly new lease of life, and I'm actually busy, as opposed to just saying I'm busy, which is probably something I should never have done in the first place. But there you go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it as always. And until the next time, get yourself a copy of this scenery, get yourself a copy of this plane, and do it. Go flying. Ta-ra for now.